everybody, and welcome to Edge Time. This is my first video here on YouTube. I plan on putting out a knife review video once a week, as well as a watch or a flashlight review every once in a while as well. The knife we'll be looking at today is the Lite Tanto from Cold Steel. This knife features AUS 10A steel, which is part of the AUS steel family, and makes use of G10 scales, which are nice and grippy. The whole thing is held together by Cold Steel's proprietary triad lock. This knife comes in at 3.5 inches of edge length and very close to 3.5 inches of actual blade length as well. And the entire knife is around 8.25 inches long. So some of the things that I like about this knife are its slim carry profile and its overall utilitarian design. The Tanto blade design is, in its nature, very utilitarian, and Cold Steel has executed this particular Tanto very well. It is a nice, clean, straight edge, followed by a very abrupt, sharp Tanto point. Very useful for scoring and other things like that. Another feature of the blade that I like is this little thumb ramp here. Just very nice place to put your thumb when you're cutting. Adds sort of a tactical look to the entire knife. Another very utilitarian feature of this knife is the handle design. When you look at the handle, it doesn't appear to be very comfortable. It looks sort of blocky. Seems like there's some very sharp, strange angles all along here, but when you actually have it in your hand, it is quite comfortable. It lends itself to the cutting motion. One thing that I do not like about the handle, and this is common across several of the Cold Steels that I own, is that when I wrap my hand around the knife, there is a little bit of a gap between my last couple fingers and the handle, and that is because of this little curve right here, and because of the overall length of the handle. Now, the length of the handle is something that I find common to most triad lock Cold Steel knives, and that is because the triad lock is not a normal back lock. It, of course, does have the normal back lock bar here, but then it also has a little stop pin in here. And just due to the nature of the lock, Cold Steel knives featuring the lock are always going to be a little bit longer than if they were just a normal back lock, and that is why the handles on these Cold Steels tend to be a little bit longer, and that can just make for a little bit of awkwardness, but it's not a huge thing, just a little thing that I noticed with my Cold Steels, but totally livable. It does not really diminish the utility of the knife. Another thing is the pocket clip. I love this knife. I love how slim the profile is and how well it carries. That's why I don't quite understand the pocket clip. Now, the pocket clip does work very well. It slides in and out of the pocket with minimal effort. It's not super grippy and difficult to use like the one on my SR1 Lite. That one was so grippy that when I first went to take it out of my pocket, it pulled my pants way up, and it was just, it's very strange how some of the larger Cold Steel knives have very, very tight pocket clips. This one does not. This one has a very easy to use pocket clip. But it is pretty big for the size of the knife, and it sort of disrupts the pocket profile a little bit. I almost wish, even though the screw design sort of prohibits, or not as much prohibits as inhibits a deep carry design, it's still I still wish they would have at least tried a deep carry on this one, just because this is such a carryable knife that I feel like it deserves a little bit of a better clip than this. Just sort of big, bulky, sticks out of your pocket. But that being said, it does work. Not a huge thing, just a preference. Overall, um, this is a great knife for the price. It's very easy to maintain as well. Before making this video, I was thinking I should really include something about maintenance, but I don't really want to take it apart because I've never done it. But then I was like, I really should take it apart, and I'm glad that I did, because this thing is incredibly easy to take apart. I will include a separate video that details taking it apart. I will not include that in this video just for sake of time, but I will make another video for that. So yes, very easy to disassemble and clean, and the action is great as well. You can flick it open with ease, closes nice and very clicky, very satisfying to open and close. There is a little bit of a bind right here as the blade overcomes the detent, but other than that, once you get past that point, very nice and smooth, which is not surprising considering that this knife is writing on bronze, actually bronze and Teflon. I don't know why Cold Steel decided to do this, but this knife actually has 4 washers. It has a Teflon and a bronze washer on each side of the pivot. I'm not sure why they didn't just put thicker bronze washers on either side, but as it is, it does quite well. So overall, I love this knife. I've been carrying it for a couple months now. I've been carrying it instead of my Benchmade bug out and others. Not because I dislike the bug out, just because this is a cheaper knife that locks up just as well as the more expensive ones, and it'll do the same things, and I'm not as afraid to abuse it. Um, it's just the peace of mind knowing that you have Cold Steel's strongest lock and one of the strongest locks ever made in your pocket in a slim, easy to carry format with a very easy to use steel. If you've never heard of the AUS steel family before, um, the main two that are used most of the time are AUS 10A or just AUS 10 and AUS 8. They are both known for their ease of sharpening. They are very, very easy to sharpen. Most of the time after using this thing, all I have to do is give it a couple of runs over the strop, and it'll be mostly back to full cutting performance. So very easy to maintain, very easy to work with. Um, so if you are looking for a budget performer that will do all of the things that a more expensive knife will do, and do it well, then I can recommend the Cold Steel Airlight. Like I said, there will be a disassembly video coming out along with this video, and I will be putting out another knife review video, Lord willing, within a week. So, that is all for today, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a good day.